Welcome to the Value Added 616 Lean Six Sigma Black Belt course. I'm Dr. Luke, the co-founder of Value Added 616 Inc. First thing I want to talk about are the expectations for getting into the course. Can you come into our course with having no prior training? The answer is no, you cannot. Our course is intense. It has a simulation in it. It is designed for folks who have been on their journey for continuous improvement for, it doesn't have to have necessarily a time, but for long enough for you to have gone through your green belt training and have a little bit of experience behind it. And that's only to protect you, because it is a very difficult class, and to make those synapse connections between all the data analytics and the previous stuff that we've learned in Lean and Six Sigma and theory, constraints, agile, and all that, in order for us to make those connections and to work effectively with data analytics, we really have to make connections that are deeper. Because as a black belt, one of the major expectations that you can pull from this course is you're going to be able to interpret and translate the data. You're going to be able to turn it into useful information that you can brief to leaders, to team members. How do we discuss this data? What is the data telling us? We let it guide us toward our solutions. So in black belt, that's the major piece that sets apart a black belt from a green belt, is what we can do with data. So in order to work with that data, we have to go deeper into our statistical analysis. So that being said, can you be a green belt and get in? Yes. Can you come in with no prior training? The answer is no. It is going to, like I said, it's going to protect you. Now, what does the course actually look like? During the course, you're doing about 60% classroom time and 40% hands-on with tools. There is a simulation that we have built, and it is based on, it's almost like a video game. And it's a process that you work through. So you're going to come in as consultants and you're going to help to solve this particular HR process. Now, during that, as you learn a tool in our classroom, you're going to have an exercise right after that, and you're going to actually be able to do that tool. And this will have, the facilitators will be listening in and they'll offer you tips and guidance, but there's a lot of it is actually up to you and your group, because there's so many different routes you can take and answers that you could have. Your facilitators are there to help if we're maybe headed in the wrong direction. But if you're going to come up with some sort of creative solution, that's on you and your team. We are here in black belt to let you solve your own problem. So that's a big difference in black belt too, is we're not going to give you the answers. You're going to come up with the answers with your team. It is very difficult to do. You got to be creative. You got to know how to work the data analytics, and we're going to show you all of that. And we're there to nudge you in the right direction, but it's up to you and your team to solve the problem. So you learn a tool, you do a tool. You learn a tool, you do a tool. And that's how it works. And we spend a good portion of our time in black belt on some deep data analytics. We're going to be working through like chi-square and ANOVA, and we're going to be looking at t-tests and Z and all these other statistical concepts. Now, are we going to be worried about the formulas? Not at all. We have statistical software that does it. Whether you're using Sigma Excel in your organization or Minitab or whatever it is, we're actually going to work with that software in the classroom. So that's a really fun part too, is we learn about what is the data trying to tell us, not exactly, how do I have to hand jam these formulas and work through them. It's 2022, we're over that. We've been past that for the last decade. So we don't focus on those formulas deeply, but we do want you to have an understanding of what goes into the formula. And you need that, because when you're translating and interpreting, that's going to help you to be a better analyst and to be better at process improvement. So that being said, at the end also, after the course is complete and we've learned all the material, we've gone through the simulation, we have what's called the final Tollgate brief. And that final Tollgate brief, you will walk through, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And you will be giving that not just to the facilitators in the room, but we actually call in folks we know from either other arenas in the industry or the folks who are in your organization, and you will be delivering your final Tollgate brief, walking through the entire storyline of the simulation and saying, okay, here was the problem all the way through, here's how we solved it, and we're controlling to make sure that we sustain these gains. You will be giving that entire DMAIC Tollgate brief at the end, and that usually takes a good hour and a half to deliver that brief. But we do give you prep time, a good couple of hours on the last day to prepare that brief. Then after that, there is a final exam, and that final exam has 52 questions. And collectively, for a score, you need to get a 70% or higher. So you're graded on that final Tollgate brief, and you're graded on that final exam. So again, collectively, 70%. So hopefully this helps clarify what exactly you can expect from this Lean Six Sigma Black Belt course. But when you come, please be prepared to do work in and out of the classroom. It is time consuming, it is intense, and you have to be engaged in the class. If you start missing class more than about 2 hours, we have to drop you from the course because there's just so much material and so much teamwork that has to be done. It's not fair to you or your teammates. So when you're there, you're engaged, and we want to make sure that you get the best training that you can so you can take it back next week and you can start to run some of these data analytics on your own or with your team. So hope that clarifies what you're going to get out of the Black Belt course. I hope to see you in the classroom.